So we've got quite the talent up here as far as people that know about crowdfunding. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that we know this is hard work. So let's just get that off the bat, right? I don't really want to field questions from people going, "Oh, I tried to do it, I failed, it sucks, crowdfunding is hard." We know this. But I am not lying when I say at this table combined we have raised millions of dollars for film, radio, web series, theater, books, etc. It can be done. You just have to be armed with the right knowledge and the right team. So let's just get that out there. We know it's hard. Okay? All right, so I was jotting down some questions on these little sticky notes in the lounge just now, because I normally don't, but I was like, maybe I should. So we can go down the line, or I think going down the line is fun for this one, but just kind of let everyone know, what was your first foray into crowdfunding and what brought you there?
Thank you, Leah, for inviting me, and thank you all for being here. So about 4 years ago, I did a film called Between Us, which was an adaptation of an off-Broadway play, and we did a Kickstarter campaign, and it was pretty early it was maybe only a year into Kickstarter or so, and we did a $10,000 campaign and raised about $10,000. And I had friends who had just started using it for indie films, and we're finding success with it. But it was still at an early enough time where literally I didn't have a video for the first week and a half, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, you should probably get a video."
Don't ever do that.
Yeah, don't do that. And then I came up with the video, and people seemed to like it, and that was good. But part of it was just educating people, what is Kickstarter, what is crowdfunding, what is the very concept of it. And the nice thing is now you don't really have to, people kind of get what it is, and they may not want to do it or may not know how to do it. But I mean, we were literally in the video like, push this button here, it goes here, and that kind of thing. And I think you don't have to do that as much.
You still do. You really do. You got to spell it out for people.
Yeah. But at least more people have heard of it. At least at the time, Kickstarter specifically was very much like filmmakers funding other filmmakers. It was this sort of human centipede effect of each of us supporting each other, and it is slightly less so now, but it's still very much a self-contained community. So anyway, but you do it, and I always say it's Kickstarter, not Kick Finisher. That $10,000 led to probably $20,000 or $25,000 more in equity investment funding. From that, we were able to do casting. We got Julia Stiles and Taye Diggs in the film, and from then we were able to raise $125,000 or something like that to actually finish the film. Of course, that money only came the third to the last day of shooting, which cuts it a bit close. But the point was, we made the movie, and we made a good-looking movie with fancy movie stars, and on paper it looks like we did it for $10,000. So, yeah. But that was the start.
Absolutely. So many things usually roll from your crowdfunding. Mark, your first foray was a post-production campaign on Indiegogo.
Yeah, and it's funny because one of the questions that people ask me afterwards is, people who are doing their own campaigns, is should they go, which platform should they go with? We were in a good place. We didn't need to do an all or nothing campaign. We wanted to do something where, even if we didn't make our goal, which we did make our goal, that we would still be able to deliver the movie, that we'd still be able to deliver on the rewards. And so we raised $30,000 in post. The movie altogether is about a $200,000 movie. And we, a couple of things that I think came out of it. One is that if you have a campaign where you do hit your goal, everybody feels great. Like, you make it by $1. And everybody's like, you had a win. And it makes the people that put their money in feel good about it, and it makes everybody associated with the production feel really good about it. And the reason that I originally decided to work with Leah was because I saw you speak. It wasn't quite like this. It was a sort of a smaller room in Santa Monica, and you were just.
It wasn't Comic-Con.
Yeah. But you're so forceful and so clearly knocking down myths and things like that. And I said, well, this is the type of person I want to work with and knows what she's doing. I would say that it is a ton of work. It's crazy. It doesn't really end. We still have final delivery. So when we have our release, we're going to have a lot of digital downloads that we're going to be delivering for people and things like that. But if you do it right, you actually find out who your real friends are.
Yes, you do. Jody, I don't know anything about your first foray.
Well, let me tell you
Yes,
all
please.
about it. I first started in 2012. I was approached by a friend of mine to produce a short film with him. And so I was like, all right, let's do this. And I am an all or nothing kind of gal, so we jumped on Kickstarter and started doing it all. I'm also a type A Virgo. Anybody? No? Yeah, woo! So I was a planner. I'm like, we have to plan, we have to make this happen. I have a whole marketing sales background, so we had spreadsheets, we had everything going for this campaign. And we hit our goal and we surpassed our goal. So this was, it was a sci-fi short that we did called The Program. We raised $21,000 on Kickstarter. We just thought 21 was a great number, so we chose that. And then realized we needed a lot more money. So we hopped on Indiegogo and did a post-production campaign and raised about another 25. And then I still needed more money, and I got a $10,000 donation. So that was our first project. And then on our second project, I started writing a manual of what to do, which was really all the spreadsheets and the marketing and everything. And this was for a comic book property that my producing partner and I own the rights to. So we started writing this manual, and about 40 pages in, I was like, dude, we have a book. Like, we have a crowdfunding book here. And that's really how our whole crowdfunding coaching and business started, was through that. And now we've helped.
And the name of the book is?
It's reinventingcrowdfunding.com. You can go to our website. And in the past year, we've helped people raise over $250,000, and we have a 94% success rate.
Awesome. Excellent. Etta?
My very first was a friend of mine was doing a feature film, and it was so early in the Kickstarter days that the reaction was, "You're doing what? Take my money!" And it was called IMI, and I was really involved with that campaign, and it's a great movie. And then my producing partner and I had a stupid idea to ruin Huckleberry Finn, and we replaced the N-word with robot as a response to people censoring the book. Sort of a satirical little thing that got way out of hand, obviously, because it's a big, beautiful hardback book. And we just did a little joke, and like I said, it got out of hand, and we ended up going a little viral, and that tricked us into doing 2 more campaigns. So. Which were much harder.
It's funny because one of my questions coming up was, would you do it again? Because they say only crazy people would crowdfund more than once, but I have a panel of crazy people. So Erica, how did it all begin for you? I can't, no, I don't think Erica's is fully on. Use Etta's.
Talk loud. So
You can take it off too if you want. I prefer to hold it in my hand.
all right, hello. My first foray into crowdfunding was not through a specific platform. I was working on my first feature film, and we were filming up in Maine in the summertime. And it was before crowdfunding was really something. Kickstarter was around, Indiegogo had launched, but it wasn't something that our friends or our friends' parents, who we wanted their money, that they knew about or knew how to use. So we ended up sending out a list with a PayPal link at the bottom of it of all of the things that we needed. And so, we thought like, oh, people understand a wedding registry. So here's all the stuff that we need, and you can either give us that stuff or you can contribute money. And we targeted a lot of the outreach towards the town where we were shooting. And the response was incredible. We got goods and services donated, we got locations donated that we rewrote the script around, and we raised about $23,000 in cash in 30 days. And we then realized that we hadn't just raised this money, we'd really built an audience. So when we came a year later to show the film to this tiny town, it was like a sold out, lines around the block in this teeny, teeny, tiny town, and everywhere we've gone, people have come to see the movie that said, I live in Camden, or I heard about the campaign that you were doing, or this movie's been in my life for a long time, which was then the idea of creating a platform that mimicked that. So that's what Seed and Spark is. It's a crowdfunding and distribution platform that's specific to film. And then
that lends into my next question, so I'd love you to just jump off of this. This would really just be for Erica and Jody and myself, but how did your experience then parlay into a crowdfunding business?
Yeah, I think none of us were tech people. None of us were, we had entrepreneurial ideas, but a lot of us were filmmakers. And we ended up building this audience in a way that we said, you know, I want to work in an industry where something like this exists, where we can fundraise from the people who actually want to see the film. And so we went about very naively building a platform and, you know, taking our wireframes to Sundance and asking people, like, would you use this? And I think at that point we had called it the Independent Media Wish List. Catchy name. So that was sort of the beginning, but what our goal was really to create something that would be a tool that not only for us to use as filmmakers, but that other people could use to really, you know, create a sustainable career. And then the distribution component came along later in that, you know, if you've built this audience, you should be able to distribute your film directly to them.